What if the person you smiled at in the grocery store had been hiding a murder for nearly 50 years? Not every killer vanishes. Some blend into ordinary life while carrying unspeakable secrets. This isn't just a crime. It's a haunting journey that stretched across decades before science finally unmasked the monster. Let's step into the tragic story of Carla Walker and the secret that Fort Worth carried for half a century. Fort Worth, Texas, February 16th, 1974. It was a perfect night for 17-year-old Carla Walker. Dressed beautifully for her high school Valentine's Day dance, she was accompanied by her boyfriend, Rodney McCoy. The young couple shared laughter, slow dances, and whispered promises of forever. But destiny had something far darker waiting. After the dance, they sat inside Rodney's car, parked outside Ridgelea Bowling Alley, whispering sweet nothings in the soft glow of the streetlights. Suddenly, without warning, the passenger door flung open. A man, tall, menacing, and armed, lunged forward. With no time to react, Rodney was pistol-whipped viciously. The gun's cold steel slammed into his skull again and again, until darkness swallowed him whole. Blood dripped from his head as he slumped unconscious in the seat. Carla screamed, but no one heard her cries. The man yanked her from the car and shoved her into his own vehicle, disappearing into the night. That was the last time anyone would see Carla alive. 3 days later, her lifeless body was discovered, stuffed into a drainage culvert near Benbrook Lake. But it wasn't just a murder. It was a scene from a nightmare. Carla had endured hours, possibly days, of unimaginable torment. She was beaten brutally, her face disfigured from blunt force trauma. Drugs had been pumped into her system to keep her weak, confused, and vulnerable. The killer tied her up and repeatedly raped her, her screams muffled by fear and exhaustion. The level of sexual assault and torture was grotesque. Bite marks, bruises, ligature wounds, all told a horrifying story of prolonged suffering. In her final moments, she was strangled, her breath stolen from her as her life slipped away in terror and agony. The brutality of this crime shook even the most experienced investigators. Yet, despite several suspects being questioned in 1974, no one was arrested. The case went cold. Hidden behind the mask of normalcy was Glenn Samuel McCurley, a quiet truck driver, husband, and father, living an ordinary suburban life while carrying the darkest of secrets. Back in 1974, police briefly questioned him because he owned a Ruger .22 pistol, but they let him go due to lack of evidence. For 46 years, Glenn McCurley lived freely, attending church, driving his truck, smiling at neighbors, while the Walker family lived with unanswered pain. Then came the revolution of DNA technology. In 2020, cold case detectives re-examined Carla's clothing and found preserved DNA. The match was undeniable. It pointed directly at McCurley. When confronted, McCurley tried to lie, but as the evidence mounted, he crumbled. Finally, and in a chilling confession, he described how he abducted Carla, drove her to his house, drugged her, tied her to his bed, and repeatedly raped and tortured her for hours. Every detail was more monstrous than the last. The girl who once laughed on Valentine's night was turned into a helpless victim of pure evil. In 2021, Glenn McCurley pled guilty to the murder of Carla Walker. In court, Carla's family watched as justice was finally served. The man who stole their daughter's life was sentenced to life imprisonment. Today, McCurley rots behind bars, his false image shattered, and his name forever stained with one of Texas' most haunting crimes. But even after 46 years of silence, truth found its way to the light. Justice may be slow, but it is relentless. Sometimes the most terrifying monsters are not hiding in dark alleys. They walk among us, wearing masks of normalcy. Carla's story is a painful reminder that evil can hide for decades, but it can never outrun the truth. If you want to hear more chilling true crime stories like this, Make sure to follow our page and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more real-life horrors that will leave you breathless.